What's good, y'all? One of them late night shows, man. And I was sitting here meditating on some shit. On another one of them sleepless type nights. And I was sitting here, I was just thinking life is a funny thing, man. Life is a funny thing, man. Before I get into the show, I just want to say shout out to everybody out there, man. Life is a funny thing, so whatever you dealing with today or dealt with yesterday, or you know what, if shit's going good right now, I hope it stay like that for you. You know what I'm saying? It's constant processing. Look, if you don't constantly process and constantly pay attention to what's going on around you and inside you, you'll end up in a pretty dark fucking place. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? And that's just it's evident. You could look around to your family members or somebody that was close to you that's been through something, for example, like addiction. Man, there's no good ending to addiction. There's no good ending to that. So, yeah, man, shout out to y'all. I hope everything is cool with you. I hope your life is lovely. Keep your head up. Keep flowing. This holiday season, man, it becomes a tricky thing, man. Like I said, life is a funny thing. Life is a tricky thing. And it's something that I feel like we all have to constantly just process on and, focus on making the best of it. Focus on truth and focus on, what makes you happy. Because in reality, at the end of the day, if you're not happy and you trying to make somebody else happy, then it won't end well. The same with, anything else, man. If there's some shit that's going on with you, you need to get to the nitty-gritty honesty of it. Don't be lying about it. Honesty is gonna get you to the solution way quicker than lies. That's just a huge part of it. You know what I'm saying? Also, real quick, shout out to the Treeway Winter Wear collection, man. I got that. Like I said, it's a late night show. I didn't really have time to prep, and also I haven't brought in any new drip yet. I'm still, it's holiday season. I'm trying to get everything else situated. So that'll be something that I'll probably be rocking on the Christmas show. I'm for sure gonna shoot a show either on Christmas Eve or like Christmas or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Family supposed to be coming in town, so who knows, man? I might get one of them to come in here and sit down with me. If they up for it, we can chop it up. Yeah, my family supposed to be traveling here and shit. Yeah, I'm 1,000 miles away from home. Feel me? 1,000 miles away. I moved away like I want to say 5, 6 years ago. Just wanted a fresh start for myself, after going through so many peaks and troughs and dealing with so many different complications when it came to personal relationships, when it came to addiction. It's just a lot of complications that I was dealing with that I just needed to sort out on my own and get off to myself, right? So shit, I moved away, you know what I'm saying? I moved away on a limb and I just went out on a limb and just rolled the dice damn near. You know what I'm saying? I just rolled the dice and took the gamble, and at that point in my life, my life couldn't get no worse than what it was, man. 24 or 25, man. My shit couldn't get no worse than what it was already. You feel me? So I rolled the dice at a point in time where rolling the dice seemed like the least riskiest thing that I could do. You know what I'm saying? Rolling the dice and taking a gamble, taking a risk, it seemed like the solution. You know what I'm saying? So that shit was bad. But yeah, I did that. Ended up moving, and once I got here, which I'm in South Dakota. For someone who's curious about that, I live in South Dakota. It's beautiful here. It snows. We're like 30 minutes away from Mount Rushmore. This was the type of shit that we only saw in social studies class in Alabama, because that's where I'm originally from. But moved here. It was a total different change. It was a beautiful shift. It was amazing, man. And just the newness of it, the new friends that I met. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Josie, Kev, Marcus. Shout out Katie. Man, just the new friends that I met when I first got here, man. They made me feel super welcomed. You know what I'm saying? In this new environment. And from there, I just started running plays and trying to see what would work for me. And I ended up I came here in a rental car. You know what I'm saying? I came here in a rental that was motherfucking late on the payments. It was, you know what I'm saying? They was calling the guy that rented it for me, but I couldn't rent it at the time. Long story short, me getting him to do it for me was a mistake, because he was stealing the money that I was given to him to deposit into his bank account. He was stealing the money from me and spending it. So when that shit happened, I just took the car and I was like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you gonna have to figure this shit out, cause you just burned me, now I'm gonna burn you. You know what I'm saying? So all I had was gas money and intentions, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Gas money and intentions around this motherfucker. And I got to, I don't know, I think it was Fayette, Alabama. Pulled up on my dude Rod. Shout out Rod, a hell of a barber, man. Rod hit me with the fresh cut, you know what I'm saying? And I told that nigga, I was like, shit, man, this might be the last time you see me for a moment, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to run a little play and see what happens. And we didn't even get into details because he was, at work, and I was out the chair at that point, so I didn't want to hold up the next customer. So I went ahead and left Fayette, and left Fayette and headed towards South Dakota. And 20 hours. I drove 20 hours, no sleep. It was a last minute thing, actually, because I want to say before or after I got the haircut, I cannot remember. But I got a FaceTime from the homegirl that was living here in South Dakota that had basically moved from Bama. You feel me? And she had been telling me about this shit for like a while. For like a year or so. You know, a year. Something like that. You know what I'm saying? She would just show me every time it was winter time, like she would shoot me pictures. And I'm like, damn, man, it's beautiful up there, bro. Whole time while I'm saying that shit, I'm going through addiction in Bama, dealing with the same relationships, dealing with the same people, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with the same problems. You feel me? And it wasn't easy to make that jump. But, you know, that day after, I was in Fed for sure when she contacted me. But before or after that call, before or after that haircut, I got hit up, man. You know what I'm saying? She hit me up. And was like, just on some random small talk shit. Not even realizing that. Shit. In the moment, I was going through a whole mental breakdown around this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I was mentally at war, nigga. I'm talking about mentally just at war like a motherfucker, man. And she hit me and she like, yo, like, what's up? What you on, bro? It's like, shit, man. I think I'm about to come to South Dakota. These motherfuckers, you crazy. You lying. I said, shit, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm finna throw the gas up right now, nigga. Like, I'm on the way. You feel me? I'm on the way. Period. And, yeah, once again, she had been telling me, yo, you come up here, like, nigga, I'll try to help you get I'll try to help you get a job. You know what I'm saying? Place to stay. Like, I got connects. I got some specific connects. Like, if you just get here, feel me? So, me personally, I ain't trusting that. Like, during the prior conversations, but at this point, shit, I was like, man, you know what? Bet. You know what I'm saying? Bet. I remember what you told me. I hope that still holds true. You know what? If it don't, I don't give a damn. Just look out for me. Make sure I make it there. Feel me? And that was like the talk before. So shit, boom. I gassed up. Shout out in that round, man. And drove 20 hours, and I got into Missouri. And not paying attention, nigga. I was like, out of cash, you know, cause I had stopped, grabbed some lunch, did some other shit. Probably bought a vape or something, I don't know. But then I was almost out of fuel when I got into Missouri. And up until that point, it's like right before I realized that, yo, I'm almost out of fuel. Like, I'm not going to be able to make it this next, maybe I had 10 hours left. I'm not going to be able to make it. And, you know, like, shit. So, what I did is, driving up to Missouri, man, the wind was crazy. I was in a small ass Nissan Versa. I never witnessed the wind being that strong in Alabama, ever. I thought I was in a blizzard, or, you know what I'm saying, the strengths of a hurricane, you know, just Just a side note, we had like a windstorm. I guess this what you would call it. Overnight last night, man. Woke up this morning here in South Dakota, and shit blown down everywhere, man. Just portable storage buildings pushed into the road from where they properly sit. Just everything. The lights was out. It was a shit show out there. But anyway, back to the story. So I'm down there in Missouri, and the wind for one was a shocker, and the coldness, how cold it was. I was like, man, this is crazy, yo. Then immediately after that moment, I realized, damn, wait, I'm almost out of fuel. I still got 10 hours left. Shit, man, I'm gonna have to make some adjustments. You know what I'm saying? So I hit up the homegirl once again. Shout out Josie, and she had a homeboy. Shout out Jordan, who owed her a little bit of he had borrowed some bread from her. You know what I'm saying? So somehow, some way, in that moment when she asked him to pay that back, he had it. So when he shot it to her, she shot it to me. Feel me? And boom, that was enough to get fuel and roll on in SD, man. But after that, after getting fuel and leaving Missouri, it got worse, dog. It got more windier. Man, I had to hold the wheel like this, man. I had to be up on it. I had to hold it tight. And I'm passing by, on an interstate where I'm seeing semi trucks and ditches, big ass vans and ditches, big diesel trucks turned over in ditches due to the weather. And I'm in this small ass Nissan Versa, and I'm like, yo, how am I even surviving right now? How am I getting through this shit? But I just stayed focused while whole time being extremely paranoid. I'm thinking somebody's following me to get the rental car. I'm saying the specific company. I'm saying their trucks like pans by on the road. My mind was playing all kind of tricks on me. Driving 12, 14, 16 hours, no sleep, you start seeing shit. I thought that was a deer, that was an armadillo, that was a big ass horse, that was a moose. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just like hallucinating. Damn near had tunnel vision at one point. It was insane. So I finally make it. And it was such a reliever to make it, man. She had the garage open, pull at the garage, she dropped the garage. Look, listen, she didn't know shit about, the vehicle and the circumstances around it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, look, listen, man. This is what's going on, okay? All right? And we gotta honestly be careful. I just got here on a limb and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we went and got some food, and I was here, man. I was here. Life is a funny thing, because a little bit after that, right? A little bit after that, it took a while for me to get a job. I was like, just worried and stressing. Motherfuckers never heard back from certain spots, you know what I'm saying? I never could. Hey, look, y'all can say what y'all want about me. I never could pass that Walmart assessment test, man. The shit that you had to take at the beginning of the interview online, along with the application. Never had any luck with that shit, man. So I'm applying places. I'm applying. Feel me? I'm starting to feel like a freeloader. You know what I'm saying? I'm borrowing money. Feel me? And boom. Finally got a gig. Fuji's Japanese Steakhouse. Shout out to Fuji, man. Shout out to Fuji, man. Hey, I got off at that motherfucker, man. Hey, look, I got busy, dog. I was on Earl Nightingale every day. Earl Nightingale, man. Listening to The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale every day. I no longer listen to hip hop music like that, but then I would. I was listening to hip hop music. I was bumping Feel Hot and Big Six, Lil Sean. You know what I'm saying? Just really, mainly just Bama shit because those are my roots. And I'm like, man, shit, I'm in South Dakota, so it's like it was like justifiable at the moment to just bump some Alabama shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, worked for a while. Finally put the bread up to get a whip. Got me a whip, man. Feeling amazing. I was still making music. I was still drinking at the time. Still drinking, still smoking weed, still vaping. All that shit, you know. So that's how life is such a funny thing because I went from, being addicted to pills, you know what I'm saying, opioid pills and Bama to basically still having addictions here. But those, you know what I'm saying, you hear somebody say if they drink or they smoke or they vape, feel me, or they smoke cigarettes, you don't really see that as a harsh addiction in reality. You feel me? It's like drinking is normal and smoking weed is normal and smoking cigarettes is normal or vaping is normal. It's like there's no ill will with it. But in reality, I realize it is though. It's damn near just the same. It's just that they sell this shit in stores. You know what I'm saying? Which led to my addiction to Kratom. They were selling Kratom in stores. And they had these 3X bottles here in South Dakota, motherfucking 3X bottles, right? You shake that motherfucker up. You just take a shot. And I was put on to the 3X by somebody who worked at Fuji. You know what I'm saying? And I used to be working long ass hours, man, getting tired, sleepy. And one of them mentioned that 3X, so I tried one evening. And it always comes down, same with the pills in Bama, the opioid pills. It always comes down to wanting to have enough energy. That's what a trap is. And you go in these gas stations and they got this shit right here. It says energy boost. And this shit right here got the word Adderall wrote on it. And you know what I'm saying? You try it and fuck around and you get addicted to it. So anyway, I started taking 3X Kratom shots. And man, I went on a whole fucking another spiral. Life is a funny thing. I went on a whole spiral. I left Alabama to get away from my problems. Shit seemed sweet for a little while there. It was tricky to get a job. Then when I got the job, shit seemed sweet. I seemed relieved. Like, okay, this shit working. Then I end up in another trap. See what I'm saying? Of darkness. And I went through this probably like 6 months, got off of them like 3 months, got back on them like 6 more months, then quit. But there's like a longer story in the future. Anyway, I got the whip now, so I'm just moving through, doing what I need to do to grow myself. You feel me? And I'm hearing a whole nother. I'm on the other side of the country, actually. You know what I'm saying? This is not like I'm just in another state or I'm just in another city or I'm just in another town. It's like, nah, I'm on a whole other side of the country. Understand me? And doing that in itself, it was a big risk, so finally get away from that. Then guess what? The drinking enhances. Once I break off those, the drinking enhances. I end up with 2 DUIs back to back. Second one, I wrecked the fucking car that I was using while my car was in the shop. In that shop, in some of these body shops, they give you, I forgot the name of it, but basically they give you a car that you can drive while your car is being repaired. Shit, man, they gave me that car, man. I'm still drinking, getting fucked up, man. I fell asleep while driving and hit a guardrail. Hit the little guardrail and tore the bumper off the front of that motherfucker. And ended up going to jail that night, long story short. And that was 2 times. 2 DUIs. That was the second one. The first one, chilling in my crib. Ended up getting my own crib, nice ass spot, overlooking the city. All I had to do was just be consistent. But addiction, man. Chilling in the crib one night. Had the urge to go to the bar. And wasn't aware that my tag light was out. So I went to the bar. I go in there. I'm a friendly guy, cool and shit. In most places, people attract to me, especially in places like that. So, motherfuckers buying you shots and beers and drinks left and right, and next thing you fucked up. You feel me? You drunk as shit, and you thinking because you've done it so many times, man, you can make it home. Home is right up there. You know what I'm saying? It's all Gucci. It's all good. I ain't really worried about it. And I'm getting pulled over, man. That was the first time. And I'm getting pulled over going to motherfucking jail. DUI. That was the first one. And then the second one, like I said, was the wreck. But, yeah, man. Processed through that. And that right there, those 2 DUIs, they led me to work on quitting everything. To work on quitting drinking for sure. Because, you know what I'm saying? I had to go to these punk ass classes, man, in there with a lot of people that in there for the same reason, you know what I'm saying? And the instructor is just so used to people coming multiple times that that's just like what she lead with. She's like, it's possible I'm gonna see a lot of y'all here again. And shit, here in SD, you get 4, you go to prison. 4 or 5 DUIs, they send your motherfucking ass to prison. Feel me? So at that point, I said in my mind, I didn't say it out loud, but I said in my mind, nah, you won't see me back here. I can guarantee my mind is set. Fuck that drink. You know what I'm saying? And if anybody out there, if you're drinking, understand this. If you quit, it ain't no you just go have one beer. You know what I'm saying? Just go have one drink. That's not realistic, bro. Your ass is gonna spiral and snowball effect. That 1 is gonna turn to 10 and 20, nigga. Depends on what you're drinking. Every time. So if you had a drinking problem, it's best that you just quit altogether. Don't dabble. Same with weed with me. weed does this thing to my brain to where it it's supposed to be a cure for anxiety, right? But the shit gives me anxiety. That's one piece. The second piece is this. You get on that motherfucking weed and it's like for one, it dumbs you down. You're not as sharp. I'ma just speak for me. It dumbs me down. I'm not as sharp. And on top of that, along with the anxiety, along with it dumbing me down, it makes the moment seems less bored. So I get attached to the less bored part. So what I feel anxiety. So what I feel dumbed down and not sharp. I just like to not be bored. And that was the loop for me. You know what I'm saying? Until I quit that shit. I had to get away from it. And what made me quit was having an inconsistent plug. You know what I'm saying? And when you want your smoke, you want your smoke. And then the plug is like bullshitting around and you know what I'm saying? And one day I said, you know what? I don't want this shit no more. I don't want it no more. And I had a plug that had actual med card. So I was getting the real deal cartridges. That's what I like, the cartridges. I don't really like flour. It's too loud. The DUI spooked me, nigga. I don't want to smell like nothing. But yeah, man. Fuck around and you got a plug that's inconsistent. That'll give you every reason to quit. I know it gave me every reason because I was wanting it so bad in the moment. And I'm like, man, this motherfucker is tripping. Taking long, inconsistent, sometimes hit me back, sometimes don't. Now I gotta find another, you know what I'm saying? It was just too much. So I ended up bumping into somebody, and this sealed the deal for me. I bumped into somebody at a vape shop. That's how desperate I was, nigga. I was in a vape shop, like trying to bump into somebody who had a med card. Excuse me, or bump into somebody who sold cartridges. So I bumped into somebody of the latter, somebody who sold cartridges. And shit, ended up linking with him, followed him, got to his crib, got what I needed, left, started hitting that shit, and I was like, man, this is some CBD type shit. This is another fake cartridge. This is not the real deal. And some of them motherfuckers even say THC on them with the exclamation point. But if it says that don't necessarily mean that it's real THC. You need to follow somebody who actually has a med card, or you need to get a med card for the smokers out there. But speaking for me, I said to hell with this weed shit, man. To hell with getting high. I like to be sharp anyway. So I used that fake cartridge to ease me, to put me at ease when I would have the desire to smoke. You know what I'm saying? I hit it and it would ease my mind. It would chill me out and I would feel like I didn't want to smoke. You know what I'm saying? And I did that till it was gone. Once that shit was, I don't even think I finished it. I said, you know what, man? I'm done. I'm done with this shit. And after that, I became more focused. I slept. My quality of sleep was amazing. But during that process, when you coming off weed especially, you're going to deal with sleep insomnia. You're not going to be able to sleep. You're going to have night sweats. That's what I dealt with. It was very difficult to fall into a good, solid, quality sleep. You feel me? For a few days, man. But then once I was able to get over that and detox that, I was able to really get some good dog. I was able to get some motherfucking sleep to where I was damn near drooling out your mouth. You feel me? And waking up So remember, I quit drinking after the DUIs and going to that class. Then I quit smoking after dealing with an inconsistent plug and then getting sold a fake ass cartridge again. So these two, they were out the way, right? And oh yeah, and I quit vaping in the midst of quitting drinking. And I quit vaping by using some horrible ass cigarettes. I put the vape away, then I went and got really bad cigarettes. And where I live at, I don't like to smoke inside my crib. So in order for me to smoke, it was winter time. It was winter time here in South Dakota when I quit. In order for me to smoke, I had to go outside in the cold and smoke a terrible, crappy cigarette, which had nicotine in it. Gave me kind of a fix, but it wasn't fun. See, I'm giving you the game right here. This is gonna be on the unlimited reset. I'm giving you the game. This is how you use your environment. You know what I'm saying? Use certain specific items. You have to exchange them out. If you strong enough, this is my opinion, right? If you're able to actually just put away the vape, right? Put the vape away and go back to cigarettes, horrible cigarettes, in order to quit, you really want it. That's just one strategy. You could just drop the vape and go cold turkey. But this time, that's the strategy I used. I just went to some horrible cigarettes. All right. And then in the midst of that, in the midst of me going back to the horrible cigarettes, I had multiple days off. I had like a whole weekend off or something. It takes anywhere from 3 to 4 days, 3 to 5 days, I feel like, for you to start like feeling a little bit normal after detoxing vaping or nicotine. After detoxing nicotine, I wouldn't say normal, but you feel way, way, way more controlled and capable of not doing it again, as long as you're not still surrounded by people that does the shit. So boom, during that time, during that weekend, right? Remember, it was like 3-4 days. In the crib, I went to like DG or somewhere, and I already had like a shitload of DVDs, Netflix, Tubi. No, I didn't have Netflix, but I did have Tubi, right? Man, look, I went on a movie watching spree. So what I did, I got a good bit of movies. I ain't go too crazy. I got a good bit of movies. Then I got cereal and milk, nigga. Cereal. I got my favorite cereal, which are Fruity Pebbles. And then I got my favorite milk, which is oat milk. And then I had these movies like Friday after next Friday, Rush Hour 1, Rush Hour 2. My focus was the movies. Then guess what? I would use sleep, because I had like ZQuil. You can grab some ZQuil. You can grab Advil PM. Not Advil PM. You can. If you like dealing with headaches, Advil PM will knock you the fuck out. Aleve PM and ZQuil, in my experience, is more light. It's more chill, and you can deal with it. And it'll put you to sleep. So you wouldn't want to go outside in the cold and smoke a cigarette. You just rather go to sleep. Go ahead and get into sleep. Go ahead and fall asleep and get it over with. You know what I'm saying? Focus on relaxation. Don't worry about going outside to smoke a cigarette. Don't worry about that. If you want to do it, one of the nights, do it. You know what I'm saying? If it's that serious to you, but I'm telling you, this shit's gonna get old quick. And you forcing your mind to focus on relaxation, movies, the milk and cereal changes your desire of what you want to put in your mouth. So if you smoke, listen, This was my experience, right? I don't know if this shit is science or if it was just me or what. But if you eat cereal, you take away the desire to want to smoke or vape. I promise that shit happened to me. So that's why I was using the cereal, drinking the milk, and I would be so relaxed after eating all them damn cereals and watching the movies that if I just go in here and pop me a Z-Quil or an Elite PM, before long I'll be toast and I'll be waking up the next morning. You see what I'm saying? There's one day down. So that's how you play it. That's one of the strategies that you can use. Now, just wanted to give you the game on that. That's how I quit smoking. Now fast forward back to after weed, right? After weed, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on health. Focus on health. Focus on loving myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm starting to, this is some real shit right here. I'm starting to find out that if you don't love yourself, these addictions, they're kind of evidence that you don't. Because subconsciously, you know it's not good for you. On the cigarette pack, it says it'll give you cancer. It says that on the packages. If you like over drink, you know it must be some kind of void that you're trying to substitute for. All these things are part of why you have the habit. It started just as fun, but at some point in time, you used it as a crutch and it became your crutch. It became something that you leaned on. You know what I'm saying? So, got into a lot of health things and just loving myself. Now, here's the thing, people. Life is a tricky thing. Even after quitting and being extremely grateful that you quit, after so long, the shit's normal. Listen, right now, it's so normal for me to know that I'm still proud of it, of course. This is what I'm doing. This is why I talk to y'all about it. This is why I'm creating a whole ass program about it. About to write a whole book about it. About fasting and breaking addictions and shit like that. Right? But at the end of the day, it took time. It took time, and I had to stay focused to do it. But once I achieved it, it became normalized. It's normal. It's totally normal. Now, only time I remember how major my accomplishment of quitting addictions is if someone familiar in my family or one of the homies or somebody who I used to drink and smoke with and do all the shit with, if someone says to me, man, you quit, man, that's dope as fuck, man, I remember, woo, woo, woo. That's the only thing that reminds me of the importance and the beauty of me quitting these addictions. Other than that, this is totally normal. Now, I'm not telling you that to not have you work on quitting if that's what you want to do. I'm telling you that because when you reach that point and it feels normal, us as humans, we start to want change. We start to want something different. We're like, damn, maybe I should go back to smoking. Maybe I should go try to have a drink. It's been a while. Maybe I should go try to have a drink just to see what happens. You know, shit, maybe it won't affect me this time. Maybe I won't spiral. But that's your mind. That's the program. That's a lie in your mind. And all of this, getting rid of all this and dealing with these thoughts, it's a part of healing, man. It's a part of healing. We're addicted to certain concepts and scenarios. And along with the addictions themselves, there are certain concepts, scenarios, and thoughts that we're addicted to as well. Because these thoughts, concepts, and scenarios were a byproduct of the addiction. Right? So we're going to shift just a little bit into, so there's my story as far as up to what led to addiction. Really was just me needing and wanting energy. What made me capable of addiction was me being young and looking around and seeing everybody had a Bud Light or a Budweiser and smelling the aroma of beer, then becoming curious, because if they're holding this and drinking it, it must be good. Nobody in here that's drinking this stuff is talking about the bad side of it. Everybody just chilling, relaxing, drinking the shit like it's water or soda. You feel me? And then from the drink led to the cigarettes, because most of them, guess what? They'll be smoking cigarettes too. You see this as you're growing up. You know what I'm saying? And a few people maybe mentioned how cigarettes weren't good for you after you started the shit. But after you had your first cigarette and you didn't have no resistance or no intentions of not smoking anymore, you was like, to hell what they're talking about. I like smoking cigarettes. I like that feeling. That was amazing. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get me a pack of them motherfuckers tomorrow as they're telling me this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what kind of environment I grew up in and what led to all that. And then now you see how and why I ended up quitting all my addictions. Now let's shift into self-love. Let's talk about self-love. And self-love, man, is so important. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love others. You feel me? So if you meet someone that's ready to love you, and it's hard for you to love them, then you probably don't fully love yourself, and you need to work on it. If they're a good enough partner to where you can work on that shit with them, kudos to you. Do that. You know what I'm saying? Do that. Make sure you go ahead, talk to them about it, sit down over some espresso at a coffee shop. After you fully process everything, listen. The truth has to be processed. Honesty has to be processed. And then for you to divulge that information and transfer that information to them properly so that they can hear you and feel you and be with you, that's a whole nother process too. So there's a lot of processing. But once you went through the processing, and listen, man, what works for me, honestly, you gotta talk to yourself. You gotta sit down. If you got mentors, you could chop it up with them after you talk to yourself. But you gotta sit down and come up with a conclusion on why you feel like how you feel. Is it past experiences? What's good with that? Then what do you want? Do you really want to be in a relationship? Or do you not? Do you want a family? Or do you not? You know what I'm saying? If you don't love yourself, then shit. You want to learn how to do it? Okay, boom. You want to do it with them or without them? What's good? Like, you got to really tap into and go into depth. You know what I'm saying? You got to put that surface shit is out the window when it comes to dealing with this. You know what I'm saying? You got to go deep, and you got to go deep, not wide. You got to go deep. Shit, I'm convinced to say you got to go deep and wide. You feel me? And then when you chop it up with the mentor, most likely they'll be able to kind of give you a full circle and an understanding on where you are, and then your options based on what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? Because most likely they've been through the same shit and they've done it. we're us as human. Look, we all bleed red. We may be different colors, grow up in different households. Yeah, we got some of us. We got different lives and different programming, but for the most part, we face the same shit. We face similar challenges. You know what I'm saying? So the relationship aspect of loving yourself, that's a process of healing. That's a process. That's a major process. And you gotta be willing to do that work on yourself. And make sure that you got somebody that's ready and willing to support you do that. Because truthfully, if you're not all the way ready to tap in, and you don't think that you can work on yourself with them in a picture, it's not fair for them, because you're not ready to tap in. They're ready to tap in. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of this addiction stuff carries over to the lack of self-love. A lot of the parenting and how we're raised carries over, and it's the cause and the seed of the lack of self-love. And the self-love leads to the addiction, and then the addiction leads to this prolonged process where you end up going down a deep, dark rabbit hole, and shit, you gotta pull yourself out that motherfucker. All from, you know what I'm saying? All from other shit that happened earlier in your life. You know, so life is a funny thing, man. And then look, once you kind of get content, I saw this happen too. Once you get kind of content, let's say you are in a relationship, and you get kind of content in how shit's going, right, and how you feeling, you know, it'll be in that moment you look over your shoulder and you see your bitch checking out another man, and you thought you had trust. Or you look over your shoulder and can see your partner checking out somebody, you know what I'm saying, and you thought you trusted them. You thought that it was okay to trust them, and in that moment, it's a funny thing, man. It's tricky because you realize it's almost like how the pimps to say, you know, shit, you gotta pull your feelings out of shit, man. You gotta take your motherfucking heart out of it. There's one organ in your body that you cannot allow to be involved in, because the heart is deceptive. It even says that in the Bible, how deceptive the heart is. You know what I'm saying? It'll cause somebody to stay in situations when they need to leave and all kind of shit. So the heart is the one thing that you had to be able to pull out of certain situations and focus on progression and reality. And the reality is that you never know. You never know who you're dealing with, right? You don't really know if you love yourself or not until you get deep enough. You never know until the results happen, until something happens that makes it clear. You never know. A motherfucker could tell you everything that you want them to tell you, everything that you want to hear. They could even be showing it simultaneously, but you never know. It could be something else still playing on the side that you are not aware of. You never know. And that's why niggas go and catch life sentences, because they didn't know. They thought they knew though. They thought they knew. When shit hit the fan, it's a shocker. It sends a shockwave through them, and then they do some shit that they'll regret for the rest of their life. So the truth be told is, you never know. And you have to focus on working on you and being the best that you can be. Life is a funny thing, man. Life is a funny thing. It's never a continuity of this is going just this way forever. It's always some kind of switch up. It's all in my experience. It's something that you gotta tap into, and that's based on constant processing. You have to constantly process, constantly process, constantly look around. Who am I dealing with? You know what I'm saying? Constantly working on yourself, getting closer to yourself and loving yourself and understanding who you are and what you're about. Constantly, you know what I'm saying? Soaking up new knowledge. Shout out to Eckhart Tolle. I really like the book, The Power of Now. Check that one out. Also, Ichiro Kashimi and Fumitake Koga, The Courage to Be Disliked is another really good one. You can get that one free on YouTube. And then The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. If I was you, I advise you to just sign up for Chirp, CHIRP. It's like a C with a black, white, and yellow logo. And the C is black, and then the background is white, I think. But anyway, you download that and jump on there and just search The Power of Now. And, one thing about Chirp is that you don't have to have an monthly payment. You know what I'm saying? Subscription wise, you just sign up and that's it. And everything you get is through Safari. You go through Safari and log in and shit. And then once you download it, they got a Chirp app to where you can go to your app and your book, it'll be on there. You know what I'm saying? And you can just listen to it. Another good one is Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Wynn. I can't really spell his name right now, but if you type in Don't Believe Everything You Think, he should pop up. That's another pretty solid audio book. But it's these things that we had to continuously tap into to grow and to maintain focus. And you know what I'm saying? Once again, like I said, you never know who you're dealing with. You never know. Now, the blessing is having somebody who's willing to take accountability and tap into that growth process with you. Because when you met them, they were one way and y'all never met before in life. So that's why it's clear that you don't really know who you're dealing with. They can say whatever they want to say about who they are, but in reality, you don't know who they are. Because you wasn't able to sit. It's not like you can press play on some kind of cassette tape or a VHS film and you can just watch their life and be like, okay, they did that. Oh, okay, they didn't do that. Oh, okay, they did that time. Oh, yeah, this is who they say they are. You can't do that. It's impossible. You can just go off of what they're telling you, mainly in their actions, and moving according to what you see and what you feel. You know what I'm saying? Moving according to that. And if you're dealing with somebody who's willing to take accountability and be honest with you and be like, you know what, you're right. You don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? I can't expect you to trust me because you don't know who I am. Feel me? I can only show you who I am over a consistent period of time. But when the inconsistencies happen, that's that point when you look over your shoulder and you thought you knew who they were. That's why you gotta remember, you never know. You never know. You know what I'm saying? And then you just keep processing. If you're willing to work with them, you keep working. You know what I'm saying? And you'll know you're dealing with someone who's willing to work it out with you and heal together. Heal together, because sometimes you're dealing with somebody who dealt with addiction too. And once again, I personally feel like addiction is the number one cause of failure in all aspects of life. In all aspects of life. Relationships, health, career-wise, all aspects. You see what I'm saying? If someone has a clear mind, it's more likely for them to have a pure heart. If they're away from addictions, if they have an addiction, it could be somebody else with that same addiction that's influencing them. That shit didn't happen to me before. You know what I'm saying? I found out my bitch was cheating on me with another motherfucker who was taking pills that influenced her to get back on pills while me and her were trying to quit taking pills. You see what I'm saying? So it was like this whole process of understanding that you never know. You never know. But if you're dealing with someone who seems pretty legit for the most part, you can build with that because, you can build with that. You got to ask yourself and be truthful about it. But in reality, if you know that you can build with that. That's one thing that you will know. That you can, you're down and you're capable to sit down and really work and grow together and heal together and do this shit together and build with them based off of their ability and their acceptance to take accountability for shit and to lock in with you and to realize reality. The reality is no, I don't know you. You don't know me. We never know. But what we can focus on and what we do know is this moment right now and how we're moving from here forward. From here forward, each day, each moment, how we're moving, making the adjustments. You know what I'm saying? OG once told me, man, look, if you meet a bitch, you gotta build a bitch. She's not gonna be ready made. She'll have a lot of presets. She will have a lot of presets, but she's not gonna be ready made, and you're gonna have to incorporate that into her on what you want from a woman, what kind of woman you want. You know what I'm saying? And only a few of us get lucky and end up catching one with a lot of presets that we require. We're like, damn, okay, hell yeah, I'm fucking with it. I dig it. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, in order to find the one, if that's what you're looking for, in order to find one that really registers with you, you gotta go through a lot of women. And you gotta weed out a lot of different personality traits and all this other shit. Is just, you know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. And I'm not against that shit. Real niggas do what they need to do out here. You know what I'm saying? We do what we need to do when we need to do it, how we need to do it. Whether that's keeping some shit going and building together or cutting the shit off and going our separate ways peacefully. We don't get too caught up in looping problems. We focus on the solution, man. The one hitter quitter, the solution. You know what I'm saying? Let's pack the punch and let's get this shit off so we can move on. You feel me? Let's dig in and figure out if we need to keep it or delete it. But man, I've been on here an hour and 3 minutes, man. This is one of the late night shows, and this is my story. This is the gist of my story on what caused my addiction, how I mobilated, moved through, you know what I'm saying? How what's the word I'm looking for? Processed, I guess. How I processed through these moments. And shout out to Sensei Fouché, man. He's like my mentor. Check him out on here. I'll drop his page in the description. As long as I remember to put it down there, because I copy and paste my descriptions. But yeah, I met him and he like kind of dealt with the same thing as far as drinking, and I think he like something else. I'm gonna let him tell you about his story. But anyway, he quit addiction and got on his own little path, and he gave me a lot of game in the midst of it, because when he met me, shit, I was pretty, you know what I'm saying? I was pretty far gone, I think, if I remember correctly, I was pretty far gone. So, he had his hand in that process of transforming me and the transformation of me going into, a more peaceful mind state. Being more controlled in without what I was doing. And I still made mistakes, you know what I'm saying? I had to continuously bump my head in order to put everything, into perspective, if that makes sense. You dig? So one more piece I want to mention about the addictions. After I quit by eating cereal and drinking milk and shit, right? After I was able to get to the point where I could say I don't need to smoke anything today or tomorrow, and I was on that flow, I started eating more healthier foods, and I set myself up for like a water fast. So I started just eating fruit, for example, because I was on the cereal and milk heavy. So I put them away, and then, you know what I'm saying? Or I probably I can't remember how I did it, but I would get like some good fresh mango, pineapple, bananas, beautiful fruit, man, happy fruit, apples, oranges, you know what I'm saying? And when you quit smoking like that, as far as nicotine, right? And if you quit all other addictions, I know for me, when I quit all other addictions and then I quit smoking weed, and then I was in that point to where I was like about the water fast, man, the fruit was amazing. Eating is like so cool as long as you eat the right shit. Like even after quitting smoking, man, I was eating a lot of the wrong shit still. Honestly, I was like eating burgers and shit because I was celebrating the fact that, look, I don't need a cigarette after this. Just for a little while. I didn't do it long because the quality of food that you eat has a lot to do with what you desire, and it'll cause you to relapse if you eat a lot of shitty food, because 9 times out of 10 when you was smoking and vaping, you was eating shitty food. So if you want to get away from that completely, you gotta shift up. So you get on some good fruit, you know what I'm saying, some good soups, bone broth, shit like that, quality salads, fat ass salads. Bury that shit in ranch. I don't care. This is how I did it. Make it desirable. But moderate yourself. Moderation is key. Moderate it, and then go into you a nice solid water fast and look up all the evidence on water fasting on YouTube. Is everywhere, man. You can find that shit everywhere. Dr. Berg is my favorite. B-E-R-G, Dr. B-E-R-G. He's one of my favorite when it comes to the information that's shared on water fasting. But yeah, man, look it up. That's what I did. I just gave y'all a shitload of game and my testimony, and I just really needed to talk, man. In reality, life is a funny thing, man. Life is a funny thing, and you just have to keep going, keep learning, continue on with a positive perspective. Try to be positive about things, you know what I'm saying? Try your best, even though sometimes you could be positive in a toxic way. But there's a balance. You have to know when you should apply what's the term I'm looking for? You have to know when you should apply, because they do it in critical thinking. You have to know when you should apply critical thinking and measure up what really went on, you know what I'm saying, and where you're at, and man, just keep pushing. Life is a funny thing, but it's beautiful at the same time. It's such a mystery, and it's about balance, and hey, some way, somehow, I'm here, you're here, We didn't ask for it, but we ended up getting it. We got the family, the relationships, the past lessons and failures, the past wins, our concept of who we are. You know what I'm saying? How we talk, how we move, dress, the color of our skin. We got all that from the other side before we even got here. You know what I'm saying? Our condition, yeah, we got all that. And a lot of the psychological and feeling states can be managed and changed. And how you, of course, like how you look, your physique, that can be managed and changed. So focus on what you can control and not what you can't control. You know what I'm saying? You can discuss what you can't control if you need to decompress. But hey, look, that's all you can do. Man, it's your round pack Bordello checking out, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Watch this video multiple times because I dropped a lot of gems. I dropped a lot of gems around the board. I'm not even talking about just addictions, but how addiction connect to most of the failures in your life. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time when you fail, it comes from some sort of addiction, whether you was watching too much TV or eating too much food or sleeping too much. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it comes from addiction and lack of attention and focus, you know. So shout out to my people out there, man. God bless, and I hope everything goes smooth for you for these holidays, man. For the beautiful holidays. Feliz Navidad. I'm gonna drop a Christmas show 9 times out of 10, and then probably gonna drop a New Year's show. So happy holiday season. I'll catch y'all on the back end. Peace.